What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Reviews Podcast. My name is Chris.
My name is Mike.
And we
are farmers.
All right, that was good. Roll that intro. On the Reviews Podcast, we listen to David Dobrik's podcast every week, and we talk about the topics they talk about and our own personal experiences. So, getting started, David Dobrik talked about an ad right off the bat. He's done this twice now, I think. Do you think that's because he has too many ads that he just wants to get one off, like, right away?
I bet you those people that are first are paying more.
They probably are.
Yeah.
You think so, or he's just trying to spread them out, and that's like a good way?
No, I bet you they're making more. He's like, you'll be the first thing that's on the podcast.
Okay.
Give me $10 million.
That's crazy. It's definitely not $10 million. But what do you think, or what do you hear that they're making off of each one? Like $8,000?
Well, he just said off of each podcast he was making 5 to 8, but I think to put him in the beginning, that's probably making him more.
Yeah. So the first ad he goes over is the Calm app. Some kind of app that gives you like sleep sounds like rainfall, waterfall, thunderstorms, and all this other stupid shit. You don't really need to. And what's so crazy is this Calm app, it has a subscription type of payment plan. You don't even need to do that. Find free apps. Like, I don't understand why you have to pay a subscription to listen to fucking ambient sounds. It's so stupid. But yeah, don't use the Calm app.
Yeah. Fall asleep to our podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
So David was asking Jason if he had trouble going to sleep, like how does he go to sleep? And David said that Jason stuffs his face with Reese's peanut butter cups to go to sleep.
Yeah, but how does that help?
It doesn't help.
Oh,
that's just mean.
Oh.
What about you? Do you have trouble falling asleep?
Sometimes, but not often. But there has been times, like, and when I say times, it's like spreads of like maybe five days or a couple days, but never like a very serious condition of like a month.
Yeah, no, same, I guess.
But I do need to have sound when I sleep. Like if I'm tired, I can just sleep in silence. But if I'm not tired, I still need to have like TV or music or some kind of sound. But you know what's funny is like they talk about these apps like Calm app, right? Like where there's these ambient noises of rainfall and whatever. Have you ever tried sleeping to that? Because I can't.
I haven't tried.
Try it. It's like annoying.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be annoying, and I'm not trying it.
Yeah, it's so fucking irritating. Like I was like, man, it would be so cool to hear the beach, but you're not near the beach, so it just sounds like a fucking annoying sound. In my personal opinion, I've tried and it just doesn't work for me. Yeah.
So they start talking about why people would listen to their podcast.
I thought this was interesting.
They obviously listen to their podcast so they can get ready for our podcast. I mean,
that's the only reason.
I mean, otherwise it makes no sense.
Yeah, if they didn't have a podcast, we wouldn't exist, and people wouldn't allow that.
Right. So we pretty much have that. Have you searched yet to see if somebody's made a podcast
about our podcast?
The Views podcast that's reviewed by the Reviews podcast? No,
but I'm pretty sure someone's gonna get that idea now.
Okay. We'll definitely listen up for that.
Yeah.
That'll be so fun.
Let us know if you do. We'll partner up.
Like I said, the reason they listen to the podcast is maybe because Jason's old.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch me put up with you. Again, like how many digs can you get in a second? It's fun to watch me put up with you. Or it could be that David is just cute.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's funny because I thought about it too. But the only, like, if we were serious, the only reason why people would listen to it is if they were bored. I think, like, if they were super fans of his vlogs, then great, they would probably go looking for the podcast. But I think you wouldn't initially go looking for a podcast. I don't think podcasts are like super popular amongst the young kids. You know what I mean? And his demographics, his audience is young.
It's definitely growing because of people like David, like getting on there.
Yeah.
And like the Joe Rogan, like how many people know Joe Rogan is ridiculous.
Yeah. And
like he's just,
and the format, the style of podcast too is becoming a little bit more younger, I guess, in that sense. Because if you listen to other podcasts, they're nothing like David and Jason.
Right. It's a completely different style. Most people that create podcasts, I think they like do it almost like informational style.
Yeah, it's like a format.
Yeah, it's like they're teaching you something, or
yeah,
they're talking. I don't know. They're talking to you, where Jason and David are talking with us.
Yeah, they make it like a show for sure.
Right, and then we just do that 10 times better.
Right.
I mean, that's just our thing. And I mean, it sucks because not everybody can do things as well as we do them, but they're still good. Like, I hope those people don't like beat themselves up over.
Right. And I mean,
it's
lucky that David and Jason don't know about us yet, because it would make them depressed.
Right.
I mean, they don't know that there's two other people that are way better.
Yeah. I mean, we've already talked about David crying and Jason crying.
Yeah, we don't even cry.
But they would just be crying all over again.
Right.
I mean, it would just,
it would be sucky. I know. We got to make sure to calm down with the twittering.
The Twitter. We got on the Twitter.
What else? What else? Oh yeah. So his last vlog. Did you watch his last vlog?
No.
Okay, so his last vlog, he takes his friend. It was like part of like the main storyline. He takes his friend, who is the parking lot attendant, I guess, in his building. His name's Nabil. What?
So not his friend.
Yeah. Well, it's like acquaintance and then made a friend kind of thing.
Yeah, we'll later learn that there's a difference in his friendship levels.
Yes.
And so I don't think Nabil wants to know where he stands.
Exactly. Well, he takes his parking lot attendant, Nabil, out to go find a girl to kiss, because he's never had a first kiss. And so in the vlog, they go around, like, I guess like a college campus area. It seems that way anyway. I don't know. Maybe they're just in downtown LA or something. I don't know. But they're going around interviewing random girls that are on the sidewalk and picking them up and doing an interview with them. And then he goes ahead and picks the last one. And he finally picks one. And he has his first kiss. And it was the most awkward shit ever. Like, the kiss was so bad. Like, I think he started with tongue out.
Damn.
Yeah, it's so ugly. Like, it was gross. I don't know. But it only lasted for maybe less than a second. Maybe 1 second. And then she pulled away. And yeah, it was just awkward. I don't even know how to describe it. But it was very awkward. And then I guess everyone's been telling Nabil, like, it's a good compliment in America to like tell girls that they look younger than they really are. But I don't think they explained to him that they have to be older, So he kissed this girl, and I think she was like 8. Well, she was 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was 20. And while everyone else was doing their own thing, having their own side conversations, he looked at her and said, "Hey, you look younger, at like 15 or 16." And it caught everyone's attention, and they're like, "Yo, Nabil, that's not how it works." Which is super hilarious, because I understand where he's coming from, right?
Yeah. He's remember and listening to all of the instructions,
Yeah, and he's following through.
He's like, you couldn't be more than 8 years old.
Oh man, I feel bad for him, but yeah, he got to kiss. She was decent looking, so good for him. It'd be funny if they did a follow-up episode where they like try to get him laid.
That's funny. Hey, what was the interview that David did? Was it not Word? I can think of WordPress or whatever. What was the?
I don't know.
Was it BuzzFeed?
Yeah, I think it was Buzz. Oh yeah, it was BuzzFeed. Yes. I think so. Yeah, I think it was. Did you watch that video too? I sent you that.
I did watch it.
Yeah, it was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that exciting, but it was. I mean, it's cool. It's interesting to hear from the celebrity, right? So David does this interview with BuzzFeed where it's like David answers Google search questions or something like that. And so basically you see David sitting on a stool and he's like revealing questions that people search about him, and he just answers them. Well, one of the questions was who were his best friends, and he's telling Jason that he doesn't want him to watch this interview because he doesn't remember, or no, he does remember that he doesn't mention Jason. And Jason's like, I don't know how Jason reacted. I think he thought it was like normal, right? Like,
well, no. Initially, Jason, as he continued to explain without saying that Jason wasn't in there. Jason said
he thought it was in the list.
I was listing one, but then he's like, so then I listed more. He said, so I'm sure I'm like one or two or something like that. That's what he said.
Yeah. So Jason thought he was in the list of best friends, and David's like, I don't want you to watch the interview because I didn't mention you. And then David's like, I thought about it, and I feel like if I went back in time and had to answer the question again, I would still leave you out.
Damn.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
You know what's so funny? I honestly think David was in a weird position. You know, he was being interviewed, and he always talks about feeling awkward with interviews. And did you notice he was wearing all black?
I didn't pay attention. But
yeah, so I guarantee he was super nervous, right? So he's just gonna think right off the top of their head. But I don't know if I don't think they know they're best friends and don't realize it.
But okay, so I listened to the podcast before I saw the video.
Okay.
And I thought, what a fucking asshole. That was my thought. Then I watched the video, and then that video gave it more context.
Mm-hmm.
And David probably should have elaborated a little more about what he was talking about. But I think, unfortunately, so when I watch the video, I see how he lists these names, and there's obviously people he's known his whole life.
You're right.
And he just recently met Jason, so that puts it into perspective, and it would have been nice to point that out to Jason, so because he's just feeling like shit, like, hey, you're not. But I at the same time, it sort of made me feel like their relationship is just transactional,
right?
To David, to Jason, kind of like what we were talking about with the Jason and Trisha thing, and who likes who more or whatever. Jason for sure in his mind, maybe he wouldn't say it now, but I think for sure in his mind he considers David one of his best friends.
Right.
And age has nothing to do with it.
No.
Like that's how David tried to explain it away. Like, well, we couldn't be best friends. Look how old you are.
Right. I thought that was a weird thing that he said. Yeah,
it just kept getting more hurtful and hurtful and hurtful.
Yeah.
So poor Jason, but yeah, that sucks. But for him to say that he rethought about it, I mean, it was important for him to go back and reflect. And during that reflection, he could have been like, no, man, this guy will do anything for me. I know he's got my back, and look what we've been through, and look where we're going, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, no.
Yeah. I don't think David would or could admit it.
No, I'm talking about Jason.
No, I know. But you know how he said, like, I thought about it, and I wouldn't have said your name. I think if he really sat there, he would think differently. I don't know. That was weird. Whatever. I don't care.
Okay, so now I need to show you my list.
You've got one person on it, and he's the manager of this podcast.
If that particular person was the person, there would be no list.
You don't know how to make lists. Okay, so then they go into talking about Finstas. Have you ever heard that word?
Many times.
Really? I've never. When they were talking about it, I was like, man, that sounds like a cool service. What is that?
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. I didn't know what it was.
Oh my god!
I was like, what the fuck is a Finsta? I thought it was a completely different service. I was thinking it was some kind of like new app too. So when they said that shit, I was like, oh fuck.
I would have never imagined that you did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know it.
Because that was hilarious to me. That because it wouldn't even pop into my mind that would be an app, but I could see how somebody would be like, "Oh, let me download Finsta real quick."
Right, because like most things have an app. I mean, that's just how the world works right now. But yeah, so they start talking about.
See, so now that answers my question. When I was reading the notes and you put Finsta and then spelled it out, fake Instagram accounts. I'm like, I wonder why he did that. I was like, maybe he thinks I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
but
so
he needed a reminder.
yeah. So David and Jason started talking about. I forgot where they started talking about it, but Jason didn't know what a Finsta was, and so Finsta is a fake Instagram account where celebrities have their like huge public account where everyone is just on it and can comment. The typical thing if you look up a famous person, but most of these celebrities will make a fake Instagram account, which will only be for their very close friends, and it's private. So they're talking about that, and Jason didn't know that this existed or this is what people did, and so he thought it was an app, and everyone started making fun of him. So
yeah, and David doesn't understand why people have them, and I completely understand why they have them, because even like celebrities on David's level and even lower than David's level have it. Even if you have 100,000 fans on your Instagram account, you can't have like a normal Instagram.
Right.
You can't use Instagram as it was intended for everybody to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So having that fake Instagram account, and he was talking about concerns about things getting leaked or whatever, but those people that should be on your fake Instagram shouldn't leak it. Like, you would have no idea what Instagram
but you couldn't
actually answers to. Huh?
But you couldn't trust, like, I mean, what if like one of your good friends, let's say you were super famous, like unbelievably famous, and like you made a Facebook, Instagram account, or a fake one, and you had, let's just say 15, 20, 30 friends on there. There's got to be one person who leaks and gets paid, from all these magazines and whatnot, these news channels. Like, someone's gonna leak your shit. So I understand what he's talking about. Like,
but look how many celebrities there are.
I get it. I'm just saying.
And it doesn't get leaked.
Yeah.
I mean, you just are extra. You're just super careful.
Yeah, you just don't post shit about yourself that you don't want leaked, basically.
But at Instagram, you have your DMs, and then you'll be DMing with your friend. It's just it's the equivalent of texting or whatever. So what you want your friends to see. I mean, you shouldn't be posting bad stuff anyway.
Yeah,
either.
But like he was saying blowjobs and shit, which I don't. Well, I think he went too extreme, but
right. Yeah. It's basically text message for friends.
Yeah.
It's not like as extreme as he was making it sound. It's just you want to have your normal life too, and the Finsta gives you the normal life.
Right. The Finsta.
So, the Finsta. I can't believe you never heard of a Finsta.
Never fucking heard that before.
Because people are always like, I'll be in people's live streams and they'll be talking about like, come on, remember that guy I sent you that does the police chases?
Yeah.
The last police chase, he was talking about, like, people kept saying, come on, give me your Finsta. And he was like, you'll never find my Finsta. You'll never find it. and it was, I liked David's example of what the username is. What he said, like chocolate strawberry or something like that.
I don't know.
Was the fake. So it's like a complete, like, there's no possible way.
Yeah.
There's no possible way you will find this person.
Some weird shit ass name.
Yeah. So they met at a meet and greet. David met a girl that said she falls asleep to his podcast. And then what did he say? He said...
He thought it was cool at first, but then when he got home, he was like, wait, what the fuck do you mean you fall asleep to our podcast?
I wish I had wrote down what they said, but so they said goodnight to her in that last podcast, the girl that falls asleep.
Yeah, I thought that was cool,
Yeah. But then they met another girl at the meet and greet that was with some friends.
And she was pissed.
And so she was complaining to Dom that she didn't get to spend enough time with David and Jason. So then he took her back to his place and had sex with her.
Right.
This Dom guy is fucking nuts.
Yeah, he keeps fucking everyone every week.
Every day. I mean, he probably has multiples a day.
Yeah.
He's fucking nuts.
He's gonna have a baby.
He probably already has one.
Yeah.
But so But David found out about it because he found her underwear. He was sitting in a chair or something. And he's like, "Whose are these?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah." So that's the first time David even learned about these girls complaining. He's like, "Yeah, these girls were complaining about you not spending time with them, so I fucked her."
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's all good now.
And then David talks about like, how do people leave their underwear like in a situation like that? And I agreed with him. I'm glad he brought that up, because I'm like, you always see it in movies and shit, or people that leave their bra or something. I can understand like maybe a jacket or something like that, but how the fuck do you leave without your underwear? And then Jason says, "Oh, I've done that, where I just put," and he gave an example like, "Oh, I just got to get out there and I just put my jeans on and leave." Like, you don't know that you're not wearing underwear?
I think you do, but I think if you're like in a super hurry,
No, like there's a process, and it's the same every
no,
time.
it's different if you're waking up with your girlfriend or your wife and you're getting ready, taking a shower, blah blah blah. But
I know.
maybe something's going down and you need to get out. So your underwear is not your number one priority. All you need is to have pants.
Maybe. I just don't know.
Depends on the situation. I mean, I if I needed to get out for whatever reason, or I didn't want her to wake up because she's gonna start talking again or something like that, then
I can see if it was not, the word malicious is the wrong word, but like, if like a girl leaves them on purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I can see that, but also, what if her boyfriend's on his way home?
Yeah, but still, it's like you would pick it up. Wouldn't you want to not get caught?
What if it's not near you? Like you're gonna have to dig for it.
But you'd have to think about it, right? Like, oh shit, the significant other's coming. I got to make sure there's no trace of me.
He's not gonna know that those were my underwear.
So it's just stupid.
Those could be anybody's.
Yeah.
But I don't wear boxer briefs, so.
David asked what?
He had a porn star guest on his vlog.
No, yeah.
Oh no, that was before so Jason asked if David would have an open relationship, and David doesn't believe that those are real relationships.
Yeah.
So I've been, like, over the last few years, I've been thinking about it more and more. And I think we've talked about it a little bit here too. I think if 2 or 3 people are interested in an open relationship, I guess you could still consider that a relationship, because you have
an agreement.
Everybody's consenting, and you still are committing that you are one of the 3 people I like the most. And I guess if that's the way you look at it, like with Dom, for example, then, I mean, if all of you guys are fine with it, then a relationship is still a relationship. You can't define a relationship.
Right. It's whatever anyone is comfortable with.
Right.
Honestly. And like, again, for the majority, it's probably something people don't relate to or would like to partake in, because that's not in their culture. Because I mean, in other cultures, people have multiple wives, right? Like, so,
right,
whatever. But yeah, I personally think it's weird. I would never do it. But if someone else said, "Oh, I'm doing it," I'd be like, "Wow, that's hot. Like, that seems tough to me," But because it's not my thing.
Now, I'm going to give you my opinion first, so that might jade your response a little bit. But David, just to me, is just so, like, wrong in some areas, and this was one of those areas. He said, "I feel like older people aren't serious about monogamy, which means being with one person." He feels that older people are not serious about monogamy. Where the fuck would you get that idea? Who's ever thought that old people like sleeping with a bunch of people?
I don't know.
Who's ever fucking heard that?
Nobody.
Never.
No.
I'm like, what the fuck? I just feel like old people are. And Jason was just almost confused. Like, he didn't know how to answer. He's like, oh, no. Old people they're serious about monogamy. And then David just continues on with his thought that old people are out fucking everybody. There goes grandma again.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know where he came up with that. That's weird.
But to almost state it as a fact when it's just completely the opposite of fact. What he does not think his fellow 22. He lives with Dom.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
All of his videos, all of those people are young people, and all of them are fucking a lot of people.
Yep. And the older one is trying to be with one.
I don't know. That's anyway. He'll give us many more of those moments.
Right. And then they go into talking about his last. It was in this vlog. I don't remember if it was the same vlog as last week, but or one of the different ones from last week, Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. I don't know. But he invited a porn star guest on his vlog, and she was really funny. And did you watch that one?
No.
They did some pretty funny bits with her. And then I guess she said that in her porn, the guys usually last about 2 hours before they finish, and then they cut it down to a 30-minute video. That I didn't even know that, and when she said that, I figured it was something like weird, but I didn't think it was 2 hours. But man, that's a fucking crazy. That's work. That is work. And they were talking about that. Jason and David were like, I don't know, like what you could be doing for 2 hours. And David said that he talked to other porn stars and stuff like that, and he said that there's producers on set and stuff, and like they really stage everything. And I don't know. I feel like that's uncomfortable.
Wow. Yeah, that was an interesting little known fact.
That's yeah, that's crazy.
So we got to meet Isla Fisher.
Yeah.
Who is that? She was from Scooby-Doo?
She's one of the voices.
So is she like hella old?
Oh, she might be in the live action, actually, Scooby-Doo. I'm not sure. But she's not that old. Huh. But I guess he ran into her and then wanted to tell her that he loves Scooby-Doo. And then she asked him what he does for a living. And I think I agree with David. I think I would hate if I was a YouTuber explaining it to people.
Why? What's so hard about saying I'm a YouTuber? Everybody knows what that means.
Right, and that's why. Then that's a weird question, right? Don't you think? Like, oh, what do you mean you're a YouTuber?
I put videos on YouTube, and that's how I make my money.
Right. So I feel like that's a given. Like, I'm a YouTuber. What the fuck is YouTube used for? Videos.
Maybe they're just not following up the question. Like, what do you do?
Like what's your category? You know, like.
Well, yeah. Like if I tell somebody I'm doing a podcast, the first question is what category? Like, what do you talk about?
You know what's
and so maybe that's what it is for YouTube.
No, I think it is. But you know what's so insane to me? Like, even me personally, even though we know this about YouTube and how they make money, and you know the work that goes into producing YouTube videos, which is a lot of work. There are many thousands of people that don't realize the potential money they could be making on YouTube.
Absolutely.
They just think it's just a place to watch videos, but it's actually people working their asses off.
Right. I mean, David is pretty disciplined getting out his.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I meet so many people, and they're like, "What? He can make that much money?" Like, yeah. Where the fuck have you been for the past 10 years? Like, that's what YouTube is. It's crazy.
And there's just so much more potential out there.
There is.
They have no idea.
Yeah.
And David will be listening to this podcast one day. Period. At some point.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that.
And then he's gonna start crying.
So, the top YouTuber, I think I watched a little part of one of this guy's videos. I don't know how I came across it. Maybe you sent it to me or whatever. But the 7-year-old that does the toy reviews.
He's probably on Ellen. That's why.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, that's probably how you saw him, because I think he was on Ellen or something. He was definitely. It was like a couple of years ago where he became famous, and so everyone had him on their show or something.
And he just reviews toys.
Yeah, he just opens them and he just plays with them, and he's like, "Yeah, this is cool." That's pretty much it. And then other kids watch him and they relate to him because young kids with a young kid, and it was genius. Those fucking parents are genius, and they're assholes.
Why are they assholes?
Because they're fucking banking off their kid, which I will fucking do too.
I don't see you playing with any toys.
Don't open the box over there. The camera's not pointing over there.
Like Steve Jobs. Remember that guy who was making a joke about Steve Jobs? He's like, what did that guy do? Everybody's mourning over the loss of Steve Jobs. What did he do? He's walking around the halls, eating a pretentious fruit like a pear, and he just leans into the room. I don't hear any thinking going on in there.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's fucking crazy. I mean, I wonder what. I mean, that kid is set for life. He's 7 years old, highest paid YouTuber, opening toys, making $22 million a year. I mean, he could quit today and just be set. But like, what is he gonna do? Let's say he gets to like 16, 20 years old. What is he gonna think of himself? And like, what? Like, I don't know. What's it like? That's gonna be such a weird future. Like,
maybe he just keeps doing it. I mean, he's already got the whole unboxing, the whole.
Yeah.
He just keeps doing. He doesn't have to stick with toys. Start reviewing what. Okay, I just bought my new shoes. He could do this for the rest of his life, literally.
Yeah, I think so.
He could be 55 years old and like, okay, check out my new cane.
Yeah, he'd be like the longest running open boxer ever. You know?
Yeah. Buying his first car. You know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. He's just doing like he'll be in the sunglasses and the shoes and the hoodies and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just he can do it forever. That is going to be a great story to watch.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what because you're going to see those stories 10 years from now and be like, remember that 7-year-old unboxing kid? Here's where he's at today. He's doing heroin on the side of the street.
He just bagged my groceries at Whole Foods.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait.
Or he could be like one of those, which would suck, but man, they could so easily go into that. You know, those there's so many child stars who do well, who just stop. They don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So like, do you remember that TV show Home Improvement?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that kid, the middle kid, I think it was, that was in there. He was so famous, and he was just like, nah, I don't want to be in more shows.
I mean, that's not what you want to do, right? Because I mean, half of these kids don't make that choice for themselves. You know.
True.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. That's the smartest thing you've said.
No, I'm just way smarter than you. Again, you're gonna go down in 1% pay. Okay, so they start talking about another ad, Tipsy Elves. We mentioned this last time, and they do have some funny ass sweaters. But the bad part about Tipsy Elves is that they're very expensive. So I think you should just do more Google research and find other companies that make awesome holiday shirts and sweaters.
And I ain't buying my damn clothes from some elf that was tipsy when they made it.
Right. It's probably going to be all shitty and broken.
There'll be buttons missing and shit.
Yeah.
So they started talking about Christmas songs, which was interesting, very random, but
yeah, came out of nowhere.
It is, but it is funny though. It's something I've thought about. Is like what like David's question was: have all the Christmas songs already been made?
Yeah.
And it's about something being catchy. This joke, like sometimes I'll tell people, I'll just be talking randomly and I'll say, I told my nephew, I said, you know what sucks is in 2020, music is going to change forever. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I said, well, because music's been going on for so long, in 2020, music is going to run out of different beats. So they're trying to slow down now the number of beats they're making so they don't run out of music. And he's like, what? And I was like, don't be stupid.
You're an asshole.
So that's like David saying, did they make all the Christmas songs already?
I mean, I get what he's saying, though. I mean, it's always the same shit every time.
Well, because it's more of a classic kind of thing. But he did make a good point that Mariah Carey is a perfect example of somebody who, she's one of the, I can't think of another one that's come. I've heard some really good Christmas albums.
Right. Like Michael Bublé comes out with some fucking dope ones.
But none of the songs become known by everyone.
Right.
Forever and ever. So like All I Want for Christmas, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good on Mariah's part.
Yeah.
I think that was also her before she went crazy.
Yeah.
So, Netflix bought the rights to Friends for $100 million.
Yeah. Sarah, she was like, oh my gosh, I gotta tell so and so, because one of her friends fucking loves Friends. And so when she saw the article, she sent it to her right away, and her friend was fucking furious. She's like, I'm gonna quit Netflix, which is so fucking hilarious, because Netflix, with all the backlash from all the fans, they just turned it around and said, okay, I think it was only within like 48 hours too. They said, okay, never mind, we're not going to get rid of Friends. We're going to contract it for another year for $100 million. And they found out from what David was saying was that if 1% of Netflix subscribers were to leave because of the decision to stop showing or streaming Friends, they would lose tons of money. So $100 million is nothing to them to keep Friends.
Yeah, the budget would cost them 0.5% of what they make, but they would lose 1%. If they lost 1%, they'd be losing money.
Yeah.
And I also want to point out, I believe this is the first, which I hope you'll find like interesting how random it is. I think this is the first bit of research, and it was extensive, that David has ever done. Like, how did he come to this podcast with that information?
Right. I think Joe gave it to him. Joe's over there doing all the thinking.
Yeah, I'm like, you've never known anything you're talking about. So just randomly breaks down all the math about Friends.
Yeah. That's crazy. But you know what's crazy is like, okay, they did a contract for another year, but what the fuck's gonna happen in next year? Like, it's still gonna be something that everyone wants. I think Friends is a 100% classic.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's $100 million, and Friends is definitely one of those things that will keep someone there.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was watching a series of something, I never finished watching it, but there was talk about them taking it off, like it might not be there, and I was pissed. I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah,
I want to watch that.
I get mad about that, actually. There's a few shows that already got taken off that I really, truly loved. And it's like, I'm thinking like, okay, is it coming back? Like, I fucking hate when I lose a show that I really like. And the thing with Friends, too, is like, even though like I may not watch it, like, seriously, it's one of those shows that I don't mind leaving on.
Well, no one told you that it was going to be this way.
Right. And it kind of sucks.
Yeah. Your job's a joke, and damn, I wish I knew the whole song.
Just do.
Anyway, I'll be there for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that sucks. I mean, the whole streaming business, I mean, and then who's going to pick it up afterwards, right? Then it's a competition. Like Hulu might pay for it, you know? Like that, I feel like that sucks. Like, your streaming services are temporary.
It is going to get worse and worse,
Yeah,
and worse and worse. We have no idea how much we're going to be taxed up the ass.
Exactly. I feel like someone's going to have Friends in the end, and then it's going to be like, oh, they can charge maybe like $1 more for their subscription or some shit. You know what I mean?
It would have been just so great if Apple had been able to. That was what my thought was, that Apple was going to take over TV.
Same.
Like they did music. Like they made music perfect.
Yeah.
They made music perfect.
They were the first. Yeah, they got to it quickly. Damn. Well, we'll see. Well, I mean, we'll see what they do. There's so many different competitors out there for streaming services now. It's kind of crazy. And, I mean, it's just going to get crazier. I hope someone else comes out with, like, everything. And it doesn't have to be this way.
Because nobody told us that it was going to be this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jason, stupid.
So Jason gets mad at David. I don't know why. Oh, was that why he got mad at him? Because he was making jokes about all the guys that Trisha slept with? That's why he got mad?
No. Yeah, in a sense. So Jason, we all know this, that Trisha has slept with a bunch of people, right? And then Jason knew this as well, but he's always reminded of it, right? And so in last week's podcast, we talked about how Jason hates watching movies with her because she probably already slept with that actor. Well, he is always reminded that she sleeps with everyone, and it does bother him, but he doesn't really like let people know because it does bother him and it doesn't. And so David was joking around without knowing that information and said that uh, something about something on the topic of her sleeping with people, but then said that, oh, something about a bridge and him being walked over.
Right.
Yeah.
It was there. Yeah, one of their friends. Oh, you were talking about somebody who married a bridge. And
Yeah.
that bridge reminded him of Jason because he's always getting walked over.
Right.
And that pissed him off.
That pissed him off. Yeah. And so it made him mad. And that he said that in his first marriage, he was walked over all the time. And he said he would never let that shit ever happen again. And so, yeah, it really hit him. And I think David just didn't know, right? He didn't know. Because it triggers, people have different triggers, right? So.
But David did make a good point. I thought this was very intelligent observation that David should, or that Jason should be respected a little more.
Oh, 100%.
Trisha, because Jason's a comedian, and so he makes jokes, and so Trisha shouldn't get mad when he makes jokes because that's what he does. That's his job. Because in reverse, Jason does respect the fact that Trisha's a porn star.
Right.
And so understands that involves doing things that you really don't want to know about, but you have to just deal with it. So I thought that was good. But I thought Trisha just always pointing something out that just getting to Jason just being more honest about how he really feels. But I like that she said that she walks by somebody taking the Plan B and says, "Oh, I used to gobble those up."
Yeah, that's hilarious. And that's fucking disgusting.
And that pissed Jason off again.
Yeah.
I used to gobble those up. But, I feel like young kids are learning a ton of good stuff, like listening to this podcast. Not theirs, but ours. But
right.
Right. But to have the discussion about Plan B and what that is and all that, I think that's a little side benefit of people learning things that maybe they don't want to ask about.
Yeah, I think that's super cool. And like, as a young person, you don't want to talk about this kind of shit with your parents. So like hearing it and understanding it from a different source is kind of like a nice, easy way to like know, right?
And you don't have to, because when there's something you don't know that you think that you should know, then you don't ever ask, so you never know because you think you should know.
Right.
Because you don't want to be embarrassed.
Exactly.
Okay, so now's the time for me and you to talk about where babies come from.
You don't know?
I decided to leave that window open for you to come back on
that. Okay, so then they go into another ad called 23andMe. Do you know what this is? I know what it is.
We've talked about it before.
Yeah, it's a fucking stupid thing. And you know what? There are more and more people. I see it on my Instagram all the time. I see it in their stories, and I hear about it more and more. And I don't know why people want to do this because it's pretty fucking stupid. This is actually one of those things going through internet security, a job I used to do. It's really, really bad. Your privacy is completely invaded by doing this thing. And I don't think people fully understand this. Like, they keep hearing the ads and it sounds like a great idea. Like, oh my God, I get to know more about myself. But you literally are giving away all of your privacy about who you are. You actually are. And it's very powerful data. I mean, you don't even know what they're going to use it for in, let's say, 10 or 15 years. And they can use that data against your family one day because they have your genetic profile. Does that make sense?
Completely.
Yeah, and I but while you were talking, I was just researching it because it irritates me. It's one of those like kind of like a pet peeve, but I see so many people doing it, and like number 4 in this thing, and the top 5 reasons why 23andMe is not good is law enforcement knows that these companies have your DNA and they're already asking for it. Like, they're doing shit to get your information. Like, if you're the type of person who doesn't want their credit card stolen or know what you're doing and searching online, like, if you did this and you're one of those people, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Oh, I completely agree.
Yeah, it's so fucking stupid. It's so funny because someone we went to a party the other night, and this coworker, my old coworker, went up to Sarah and was like, "Oh my gosh, Sarah, I'm 5% Korean." And then Sarah was like, "Oh, how do you know?" Like, and she's like, "I did 23andMe." I was like, "Oh, you're so fucking stupid." And who cares if you're fucking 5% Korean? If it ain't like 20 or 25%, you're fucking nothing. Like, stick with your bigger fucking ratios.
I'm 5% Korean.
Who gives a fuck? It's so stupid.
Well, I get mine back
Yeah, I knew you're stupid. But okay, let's move on. If you guys did take the 23andMe thing, you're an idiot. And if you didn't, don't do it, and don't buy it as a gift. That's fucking stupid too. I guarantee there's so many of those gifts going out this Christmas.
Or if you're trying to set up your friend.
Yeah.
Hey, here's 23andMe for Christmas.
Yeah.
You'll just need to swab your left cheek. It's him. So Jason said, word on the street is you've been masturbating a lot lately. He says this to David. And apparently, I guess that was true. That's funny that's the word on the street around them, that Jason's masturbating or David's masturbating a lot more.
I think
that's so crazy.
I think that was a joke.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I think they were saying, so they talked about how David's always frustrated. Natalie, his assistant, and Joe told him to go in his room and masturbate. I think they're seeing David be kind of like a grumpy person, right? And like usually when you see a grumpy person, you'd be like, "Did you get laid lately?" Or no, you need to get laid. That's what I mean. Right. You know? So I think they just need him to like fucking relax.
Go to your room and masturbate. And then he said he did.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was. So then it was time for Joe's Teeny Weeny podcast. Too bad we can't play the music that he
I know. I loved it.
I thought it was great.
I loved it. I was like, oh shit. So yeah, Joe played this like intro music, and it was pretty badass.
Well, and it was so epic.
Yeah.
All the parameters for Joe's Teeny Weeny podcast were completely forgot about.
Right. But the timer still went off.
Oh, was it? Oh, do you hear it?
Yeah, there's a timer that goes off. David's thing went off. You can hear it in the background.
What does it do? Ding.
Yeah. No, it's like bzz, bzz. It's like your iPhone timer when it goes off. Yeah.
Okay. So he said he wanted to do the fart bag podcast challenge.
Yeah, fucking stupid.
And he said he paid $300 for the intro, which was actually a pretty decent price.
Yeah.
So you need to get in touch with him so you can get our intro paid for.
Yeah, send me a check.
And then David says this was Joe's last time on the podcast. But that was pretty dope. I did see Joe tweeted that he forgot to do a shout out. So he did. So in his next one, he's going to do 2 shout outs or something like that.
Nice.
So Jason's movie FML. Damn, I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not. I think I kind of have to.
I kind of want to just skim through it or like just see what it is and see like the quality put into it, but I don't think I'm going to actually watch the whole thing. And I thought it was stupid because like they talked about his movie, but Jason had to buy the rights to his own movie. I don't understand that.
Well, you know, it's funny. Do you know that girl, Kathy Griffin?
No.
Yeah, you do. The one that held up President Trump's head?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So you lied.
I did.
And you're always fucking lying. You fucking liar.
Why anyway, you always lying?
I forgot about that. So she was on something the other day, and after she did that, she said her career went down. Nobody will book her anywhere. She said she has no bookings now. And she talked about, which will sound like a familiar idea, how she took her marketing into her own hands and she started booking her own shows. And that's so dope because now she keeps all the money. Nobody else. But anyway, she had to buy the rights to all of her stuff. Like, so I guess the company, whoever is, I guess they own you, you know?
I guess.
The people who allowed you to get where you are, they own all your shit.
Yeah. Like the production team or whatever, the management team, I guess.
Right.
That
Or
sucks.
the agency or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is cool that he put it out there. But he said David's been shitting on the movie, but he's been getting for 2 years, but he's been getting really good comments about the movie. I don't know. So before we'll have to watch enough of it to give an informed opinion. I'm gonna say because see they have Jason and David have an advantage in that we feel like we know them,
Right.
so we're gonna be biased towards
Right.
anything that they're doing, as opposed to going to a normal movie.
Right.
We were like, that movie was shit, but we'll be like, wasn't it so cool when Jason said?
Yeah.
So
we'll just check it out. We'll just check it out. I think
I say 6.
I would say like a 4.
Okay.
I say 4 because I don't think Jason has proper film skills.
And I think it's going to have to be pretty cringy in a lot of spots.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit off topic, but have you seen the advertisements for that new Mowgli movie on Netflix? Well, if you do ever feel like we're just watching a random movie, although you haven't watched half the shit I told you, Mowgli, I guess, was made by the original by Netflix, and it is fucking super adultish.
Is it Mowgli like from the Jungle Book?
Yes, and it is the most adult version I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
It is fucking crazy. Even Sarah and I, like, we were watching it, and we were like, a scene would happen, and we would look at each other and be like, "What the fuck?" Like they're gonna show that. Like you think Jungle Book the whole time, and then when you see half the shit that shows up in that in that movie, you're like, "Damn, this shit is ruthless as fuck."
Sounds like an awesome idea.
It is. I honestly, I don't think so. She asked me, "What do you think?" And I said, "I get a 5 out of 10." But I don't think it's a bad movie. I just don't think it was a great movie, but it was a great idea to make it the way it was. If that makes sense. I don't think I would be like, "Oh, I need to watch it again," or whatever. I just think it's fucking crazy. They took the movie Jungle Book, which was always a kid thing and so happy and friendly, and then they made it into this fucking crazy savage shit.
Okay. Have to check that out.
So if you guys are listening and you haven't checked it out, check it out. And definitely you should check it out. I think you would appreciate how fucking crazy it is.
All at framebridge.com/reviews.
Yeah. But we don't want to use FrameBridge.
Right.
Shutterfly.com.
Shutterfly.com.
Promo code reviews.
All right. So David bought Natalie a Mercedes. Now, how nice of him.
Yeah.
Finally. Of course, she's got the cheapest car of the whole group.
Really? Think so? They all got Mercedes, though.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He only buys Mercedes. I think only one car wasn't.
So he said the price initially for the Mercedes was $56,000. He got it down to $47,600.
Right.
When he asked the finance guy the amount to get a check when he called back later, he said the price was $59,600. So it went even higher than the original price.
Yeah.
Before he talked it down. Now that's pretty shitty. And since Jason said it happened to him the week before.
Yeah, this sounds like a shitty fucking dealership. And if they figure out who this dealership is, man, those people didn't get fired.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Oh, I'd be so fucking pissed. I don't even know if I could buy the car from them.
No, yeah, fuck that. Even I guarantee it's not even David's money too. It was SeatGeek for sure, but I think SeatGeek gives him the power to go find the deal. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm sure, but yeah, that's fucked up. If you're on a team selling cars and you're the showman in the beginning, where you're talking to the customers, getting them to sit into the vehicle, and and you agree to a price, you need to relay that message to the fucking dude. Hey, we agreed to this price. You need to let the person know if you're going to add shit on there.
And also, he better not have gotten her the base model Mercedes, with no features that included a CD player and a
yeah.
It better be a nice Mercedes. If it's just all the extra stuff like warranties on tires and stuff like that, then okay, I get it. But it better be well equipped.
Right. I can never tell, but yeah, it better be, because then it's kind of fucking pointless, especially in a Mercedes, because it's all about the stuff inside, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's that whole feeling when you sit in that kind of a car is just it just feels so good.
Yeah.
It's like, how do they make such a difference from one car to the
Right.
next?
I'm still, I know we talked about this before, but I'm still fucking dreaming of having a Tesla. I keep seeing them everywhere now, and I fucking want one.
Damn, I don't. I mean, I don't not want one, but I don't desire one.
I really do. I just want a cool ass car with so much technology in it.
You're a nerd, and you don't do well. I guess nerds drive Teslas too. So okay, you're good. So David says, don't ask anyone to fill out a survey at a restaurant. David, who the fuck do you think you are?
We're gonna do a survey on you.
David, I need you to go to our Twitter.
Yeah. We'll have a Google Forms up.
So, that's ridiculous. I get. He's like, okay, don't ask me to ask you. They have to. Do you think that they're asking you to fill out the survey for them? No, their fucking boss told them to ask you, you dumbass.
Right, because they already know that no one wants to take surveys.
Right. So that it's part of the job. When somebody asks you and at the cash register and they circle the survey link and say, please take the survey, do you think Jane just decided?
Hey, I really enjoy surveys. You guys take this one, No, that's not gonna happen. Fucking hilarious.
So he says, I will fill out a survey if somebody's good, but don't ask me to. Okay, Dave. Okay, Dave. I wonder if they call him Dave. Do they call him Dave?
No one calls him Dave.
Well, guess who does now?
Not you. That's not allowed on our podcast.
Dave.
You're fired 4 times over.
So, Dave says you should go watch Jason's movie. So we will do that.
We will check it out, and we will do a review.
We will do a what's the name of the movie again?
FML.
We'll do FML.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun little project. And we'll just, I guess, give you tips on how to be better at making movies.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're fucking done. We talked about everything they talked about, and I'm sick of talking to you.
I was sick before I started talking to you, knowing that I was going to talk to you. Well, I was actually, I know you took a shower just before we recorded this, and I was just kind of hoping you'd slip.
Wow. I was thinking you were going to be funny, but that was an asshole thing. I was like, damn, you want me to get hurt? I'm just saying I don't want to talk to you anymore. Wow. Okay.
So imagine my surprise when you showed up.
Yeah. So. It was a great surprise. Okay. Well, thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to tweet us on Twitter at Reviews Podcast 1. Is it Reviews the Podcast 1? What is it? Fuck.
You need to come better prepared.
I got it. I got to read it off. It's at Reviews Podcast and then the number 1. Send us a tweet. We'll tweet you back. If you use the Anchor Podcast app, go ahead and leave us a voicemail, and we'll use it in the next podcast.
Thank you so much for listening. Anybody who's listening to this, we love seeing those numbers.
Yeah,
and we're enjoying this. It's a little bit of work that's kind of annoying, but
because I gotta work with this guy.
Yeah, once we get to this point and we're done, and I'm about to hang up, so I don't have to listen to this fool. It was well worth it.
I actually changed the voice and changed the pitch, so I don't know it's you. So I feel like I'm talking to somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it helps.
Okay. Well, I'm just surprised because I don't listen to you at all, and I just think the way the notes are prepared, it makes it seem like we're talking to each other.
I don't even know who you are.
It works out. Anyway, this has been the Reviews Podcast, where we review views the podcast. My name's Mike, not Jeff.
And my name's Chris. We'll see you in the next one. Peace, bitches.